Hey guys, it's Daniel with Perspective, and MSNBC, Comcast, has always had an interesting take on elections, which has been, hey, did you make a lot of money? If you made a lot of money, we'll talk to you. We'll take you seriously. We'll basically do whatever you say. Just please spend money on ads with us. Now, this is an interesting time since Bernie Sanders is now raising more money than any other Democratic candidate. Let's see if that message stays consistent.
Steve, I do want to start with these numbers. We pay attention to these fundraising numbers, and some people at home might be looking at the television and thinking, why? It's a lot of money. Everyone's got a lot of money. Why are these numbers such valuable information for us?
Because it tells you how big your bonus is.
Well, they do tell you something about the state of each campaign, the energy they're generating, especially among donors, sometimes big donors, sometimes small dollar donors. But I have to say, when it comes to sort of the all-important role of fundraising, I'm a little bit more on the skeptical side when it comes to this stuff. I look at it this way.
Really? MSNBC, not sure that money's that important in a primary. Go on.
I don't think there is anything wrong with anybody's fundraising that a strong performance in Iowa, New Hampshire, in the early states wouldn't make right. And I don't think there is anything right with anybody's fundraising numbers that a poor performance in those early states would make wrong.
Wait a minute. MSNBC is saying that, hey, you could make some money, you could not make some money, you could still do well in Iowa. What? When has MSNBC in their history ever thought that? It's almost as if they're thinking something that makes them get what they want, and they have no principles. Let's continue.
We have seen this before. I remember the all-powerful Howard Dean fundraising machine came roaring into 2004. He had the money to go the distance. He fell flat in his face in Iowa, and all that money counted for nothing.
He didn't fall on his face. You pushed him off a cliff, and he went, ah, all the way down.
I remember John Kerry coming into that year with no money. He had to take out a $6 million mortgage against his own property in Boston to keep his campaign alive.
You hear it? It's the smallest saddest violin for John Kerry's mortgage.
He won Iowa, and everything took care of itself. I look at all these candidates. They have the money to compete in Iowa. They have the money to compete in New Hampshire. They've got to win, or they've got to do well, be seen as doing well in those states. And I think the rest of it starts taking care of itself.
Matt, I think that makes a lot of sense.
It does, and I work for Jeb Bush. I know a little something about money and how far it can take you. And what I'm also looking at right now is not just how much you've raised, but what's your cash on hand, right?
Joe Biden
had a very high burn rate last time, and is now we're getting to the point where votes are being cast. You need to spend that money, and no one leaves the race just because they want to. Nine times out of 10 is because they run out of money. Even Jeb Bush did at the end. So who's spending the money? Where are they spending it? And more importantly, how much do they have left?
I think it also tells us a little bit, though, about excitement for a candidate. Bernie Sanders was somebody who was, I don't want to say flying under the radar because that's not giving him enough credit, but somebody who maybe wasn't as highly targeted by the other candidates.
By flying under the radar, she means we completely ignored him, said he had no chance of winning, Biden was the way to go, and all his fans were racist, sexist Bernie bros. But now that he actually has a chance of winning,
so far in the race, but he's raised over $30 million. It is a ton of money from small donations. I think it's 1.8 million donors or something like that. That's a lot of excitement for a Sanders candidacy heading into Iowa. What do you make of it?
Yeah, absolutely. This quarter was, this definitely put it cemented Bernie Sanders' status as a front runner.
Oh, just now in 2020 is when you think Bernie Sanders is cemented as a front runner, not when he has huge early donations from not his million-man army of people said they're going to volunteer, not his campaign status and his polling numbers, nothing. Now MSN's like, front runner status. I believe he could do it. Yeah. Bullshit.
When we look at Iowa and New Hampshire, it's basically turning out to be a four-way pileup, between Sanders and Biden and Pete Buttigieg and Elizabeth Warren. I will say that it seems like both Biden and Sanders could have a path to the nomination, even if they don't have first-place finishes in those first two states, but Buttigieg and Warren, maybe not so much.
And there you have it, the professionalism from a panel whose work and discussion can be summarized as, if he has money, he could be in a race. And you need money to be in a race. You also need to win in Iowa and other states to get delegates to be in the race. I think you could have an elementary school student who had a nice suit do this with about the same gravitas or the same information. What a segment. What a segment. This is where we're at, folks. This is peak news, peak establishment media. This is what people listen to in retirement homes. This is what, again, their average age is like, what, 67? Sadly, these are the people listening to this that think this is real news. There are so many people that take this as gospel. It's up to us to change that and remind them that they really don't even know what they're talking about. Till next time, guys. This is NBC, and this is what professionalism looks like. A camera moving towards my face.